He says that these young men, first of all, you don't know anything, huh?
My body is constantly trying to heal after surgery, since he considers it to be an open wound.
See, I don't know who this girl is. I don't know her. I don't know her. I don't know where this whole narrative that bottom surgery is an open wound came from. I really don't. Most people are happy with their results. In fact, the rate of regret for bottom surgery, for sex reassignment surgery, is less than it is for like a hip replacement.
Do this. It's happening as young as 7-year-olds in the US, as young as 5 in the UK, as young as 5 in Germany.
No, it's not. No, it is not. That is just not true. He said 5-year-olds are having vaginoplasties.
It gets maggots in it. I'm not joking, folks. And
what? No, what? Oh my God, this is off the rails. Hi everyone, it is Samantha Lux. Welcome back to my channel. How's everybody doing today? Are you doing good? Are you doing great? Me too. Except for the fact that I recently discovered that transphobes have been using pieces of my video, my content, my YouTube videos, my precious content to create propaganda for anti-trans activists, anti-trans people, transphobes. I've gotten so many messages, so many emails, so many tags on Twitter of you guys being like, did you know this is happening? Did you know that these people are using your video? No, I did not ask to be a part of this video that was tweeted out by the right side of history, a TERF Twitter channel, just saying. I did not sign up for this. I did not consent. And today I am here to set the record straight. I cannot just stand here and allow these people to use my video to fearmonger about these gender affirming procedures for trans women. I won't let it happen. I will not. And let me tell you, the transphobes have definitely found it. It was literally on the Alex Jones podcast the other day on Turf Wars? No, Turf Wars. Hi, JK Rowling, Turf Wars. No, it was on the InfoWars podcast with Alex Jones. He was talking about it. He was talking about the horrors of genital mutilation. I don't even know if I should say that this early on in the video, but it was intense. This video has been widely circulating among these echo chambers, among these anti-trans Twitter spheres. And yeah, we just have to talk about it. We got to get into it. I need to break down all of the lies that are being spread in this Twitter video, in Alex Jones' podcast where he watches this Twitter video, and also in the Twitter replies. Ever since Mr. Elon Musk bought Twitter, the replies on Twitter have just been trash. Like, now anybody that pays a little subscription amount on Twitter can get a little blue check mark and show up first in your Twitter replies all the time. And transphobes and conservatives are finally getting their little 5 minutes of attention, I guess, not even fame, just attention, because their replies are finally being noticed because they literally paid to have them noticed. I post new videos here on my channel every single week, so go ahead and subscribe if you guys are not already and you would like to be. Go ahead, I'll wait for you. And before I forget, I actually did just start a Twitch channel. My first ever Twitch stream is going to be this week on June 22nd, 2023. And I know in my last video, I said it was gonna be June 23rd, but I'm dumb as hell. I had to reschedule already. It will be June 22nd at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We're gonna be doing a nice little welcome to my Twitch channel segment, and then we're going to be playing some Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I love Zelda. Oh my God, it's so good. Also, make sure to follow me over on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep us up to date with me as possible. And I also have a Patreon, so if you guys like the work that I do here on my channel and you would like to donate, the link for that is down below as well. But now, with no further ado, let's get right into some Twitter propaganda, shall we? Okay, so this is what the tweet looks like. It's had 1.9 million views. It was also tweeted out at 2:06 a.m. Like, go to bed. It says, the doctors performing these surgeries with the state of technology being what it is are so unbelievably cruel. And then the video tweeted along with it is comprised of segments of one of my videos, segments of some other trans girls videos in which we're talking about our experiences. And they are stitched together so strategically to make it seem like we all regret our surgeries and it was the worst mistake we ever made, blah, 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 which is just not the case. Before we actually watch the video, let's take a look at their Twitter page, shall we? Just to, you know, really get a glimpse of who is tweeting this content out, where it's going, what kind of echo chambers it is circulating in, all that kind of good stuff, shall we? Okay, let's do it. So the name of this Twitter account is the right side of history, and then their bio, which is quite the mouthful, is gender atheist and regular atheist, duh, JD and MS engineering student, I don't know what that is, fascist Marxist slash Leninist, I can't say it, it's too much, fascist Marxist slash Leninist anarcho-capitalist. God damn, I need a fucking drink. And where are they located, you may be wondering? In Turfistan. Turfistan is not a place. And if you're unfamiliar with the location of Turfistan, it's not real. There's just a turf, and they're making a comment on them being a turf. Very funny, very cute, very great. Their cover is actually kind of funny. I kind of like it. This is their Twitter cover. It says, people have prostates, which is kind of like commentary on how people say, oh, people with uteruses instead of women, you know what I mean, to be more inclusive. And so they're kind of flipping it back on trans women instead of trans men and saying these are just people with prostates, not women, not trans women, which I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm not really, I'm just kidding, I'm not okay with it. The thing with these descriptors like birthing person, people with uteruses, people with prostates even, is it is not intended to be applied to individuals. It is a medical term, a medical formula for terms to make them as inclusive as possible. So obviously there are trans men out there who have uteruses and may become pregnant or may menstruate. And so when they're talking about everybody in the world who menstruates or may become pregnant, you wouldn't want to just say women because that does not include trans men. And when you don't include trans men in these medical discussions, a lot of times they're left out and don't get the care that they should get. Who would have thought that TERFs would have been against healthcare for trans people? Oh wait. Okay, so that is the Twitter page that we are dealing with today. That is the person or the Twitter account that tweeted out the video. Obviously, they are pretty anti-trans. I hate to throw around the word transphobe because everyone's like, oh, you just call everybody a transphobe that you don't agree with, blah, blah, blah. No, this person just doesn't like trans people. They're just a transphobe. They are. If you're proud to claim that you're from Turfistan, I feel like you're just a TERF and you're just okay with it. At least you're being honest with yourself and everybody. That's cool with me. Okay, but now that we know who is talking, who is spreading this message, let's watch the video.
It has been a decade since my sex reassignment surgery.
I had my SRS 10 years ago.
It's been almost 4 years since I had the first stage of my vaginoplasty.
I had my second SRS revision surgery.
I am getting a second surgery.
After my surgery, I was just in such a dark place that I didn't really want to talk about it. I didn't really want to have to go back into it and feel all those feelings over again.
I had a few complications, bleedings, infections.
Who would have thunk that bottom surgery, a vaginoplasty where they turn male genitalia into female genitalia, could be an intense surgery? I cannot believe that an intense procedure such as this could possibly have complications and risks and you could bleed from it. Like, duh.
I've had complications and I've had a hard time.
I did have some complications and I did have some, concerns that not everybody deals with.
I thought it would make me happier, and initially it did. Was that worth the constant issues I've had? The dilation I have to do for the rest of my life?
Okay, that's a good question. I don't know who this is. I think I know the other two girls. I've seen one of them and I'm friends with Adia, but I don't know who this girl is. But that is a great question and I'm glad that she asked this and I'm glad that it was included in this video. They claim that they originally thought that this surgery would make them happier and for a while it did. But then she asks, was it worth the lifelong dilation schedule? Is it worth the complications that I'm going to have for the rest of my life? Is it worth the risk of going through the surgery? I feel like that perfectly illustrates why the other two girls and myself, I don't know about this person, but I feel like that's exactly why we made these videos. To talk about how hard they were, to talk about how challenging the surgery was, but to say that this is what we needed to do. For me, it was worth the risk. For these other two girls, they say that it was worth the risk. That's why I always say that people considering this surgery should not go for this surgery unless they absolutely need it. I always say that surgery should be a last resort when it comes to dealing with dysphoria, and this is exactly why. Because you can potentially have complications for the rest of your life. You can have things not go right. It's painful. It's a difficult surgery to go through mentally and physically. And so for some people, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth the risks. But yeah, for me, it was worth it. For other people, it may not be worth it. So I really think that people should take the time, do a deep dive into what they need, what they maybe don't need and maybe just want, all that kind of stuff, because there is no going back. I mean, obviously. Okay, let's continue.
I'm having the worst time with dilation.
I was experiencing a little bit of dehiscence, which is basically when you are so swollen that the sutures that they put start to rip open. It was as bad as it sounds.
I had trouble urinating. I kind of walked around with it for a year before I sought help.
The reason I'm dilating twice a day is because if I miss once, it is so painful. I dread it so much because it's so painful.
In this part of the video, they are bringing up all these complications that people have had and basically just pointing out that things can happen when you have an intense procedure. When I went into this surgery, I did not expect it to be easy. I did not expect it to be like an overnight type thing. And the complications that I experienced, the dehiscence that I experienced, I was warned about it beforehand. They did say, this is what could happen. This is what we'll do to help you. And this is how we'll treat it, blah, blah, blah. They did treat it afterwards. I did heal. I was perfectly fine. But in the moment, it was definitely scary. But me bringing that up was not to say, oh, don't have this surgery. The technology isn't far enough along and this is what's going to happen to you. It's going to be awful. You're going to be in so much pain. It was just me trying to explain that it was a difficult surgery. And those people that do need this surgery, I was trying to let them know what they should expect when they go into it. When it comes to bottom surgery, the fact of the matter is most people are happy with their results. In fact, the rate of regret for bottom surgery, for sex reassignment surgery, is less than it is for like a hip replacement.
I went to dilate again that night and I think that I moved a stitch. I don't know what happened, but something happened and I was in excruciating pain. it felt like literally somebody had like shot me or stabbed me or burned me or something down there.
Yeah, it was painful. Nobody is denying that.
I had to dilate and I had to try to open my urethra up, and it was just like, yeah, I'm going to start crying.
I was bleeding every time. I literally was going to pass out. I threw up because I had so much pain.
Yeah, if anything, I feel like these clips really just prove how desperate that trans people are for these gender affirming surgeries, how deeply we know our identities and how we want to exist in this world. I don't regret my surgery at all. I know Adia does not regret her surgery. I'm fairly certain that this other girl does not regret her surgery either, despite having to go through all this pain and experience these complications. I would still suggest that people who feel that they need this surgery, get this surgery done.
I remember like bawling my eyes out saying like, what did I do? Like, what did I do to myself? I myself up. I'm never gonna heal from this.
I do remember saying that. I do. That moment in time lasted a good 3 minutes. I mean, I was having like a full-blown panic attack. Once I was able to calm down, get some painkillers in me so that the pain was not as excruciating, I was fine. I was scared of what the next month looked like because after surgery, things down there are not pretty looking, so it's sometimes hard to imagine what the final result will be. So I had some of that experience, but I still did not regret it. I was scared, but I did not regret it.
My body is constantly trying to heal after surgery, since it considers it to be an open wound.
See, I don't know who this girl is. I don't know her. I don't know her. I don't know where this whole narrative that bottom surgery is an open wound came from. I really don't. It's one of those things that is just going around on Twitter right now. That's not the case. Like, just by definition, it is not. Obviously, when you're healing from surgeries, there's like incision sites and stuff like that, but it's not like just like your inside of your body is like open to the world. Everything is closed with like skin and like tissue and stuff like that. They don't just like cut a hole in your body and leave it like that. Like, I feel like that's really what people think. That is not the case. It's nowhere near the case. So if you hear that from people online, they're just lying.
I mean, what can I do except go and have another revision?
I remember starting to cry in the surgeon's office because I was like, I'm depressed, I'm in school, it's painful, like it's a lot.
Yes, it was a lot. Yes, it was painful, it was stressful, all that kind of stuff, yes.
The issues I had very early on should have been indications to me that I should not have done this, but I hated my male self so much that I needed to. And now there's no way to go back.
Okay, so I hate that framing of it. I hated my male self so much because I didn't hate my male self. You know what I mean? I was uncomfortable with the way that my body looked when I was presenting male, of course, but I didn't do this out of hate for my past self. I did it because I love the person that I am so much that I wanted what was best for me. This is what was best for me, and so I went and got it. And I am happier than ever. Sucks to suck. Sorry.
You can never go back.
When you get a surgery, it's not always gonna go well.
If I had known about the irreversible physical damage I caused to my body, then I would have never done any of this.
Irreversible physical damage, you mean like having a vaginoplasty? So this person, I feel bad for them. The way that they're talking about their experience, it seems like they did not have a good outcome. Their results were not what they expected them to be. And that's awful, that sucks. You know what I mean? I genuinely feel bad for this person. However, that being said, like I mentioned earlier, the regret rate for these surgeries are very, very low. I feel like the negative stories and the people being like, this was the worst thing I ever did, blah, blah, blah. I feel like those stories are often a lot louder because when people are happy about their surgery, a lot of times they just continue to live their life and just forget about it, move on, because that's the goal for a lot of trans people, is to just transition and live their life. However, when you have a really bad, traumatic even experience, you're likely to be more vocal about it. Of course, that does not mean that their poor experience was not valid. It's something that shouldn't be listened to. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that if this is a surgery that you need and you know that you need this, don't be afraid of these stories. Listen to them, take them in for what they are, learn from them, maybe don't go to the same doctor, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like the people that posted this video really think that trans people that see this are just gonna like no longer be trans or no longer gonna feel the desire to have this surgery. That's just not the case. Trans people have been having surgery for decades and decades and decades. We're going to continue to have these surgeries for years and years. All that transphobes are doing by pushing videos like this is spreading misinformation about our bodies and making us bigger targets to conservatives. They're cutting up and lying about our experiences to scare off other trans people. But the irony is, I feel like this isn't gonna scare off any trans people. If anything, it's just gonna make those trans people look for the best of the best doctors, which is a good thing. What I don't like about it is that it is made for conservatives. It's made for transphobes to make these surgeons and doctors seem like horrible, like mutilating people instead of the life-saving, gender-affirming specialists that they are. Like, my surgeon saved my life. Like this person says, this is the worst kind of malpractice. Appalling. My heart goes out to them. Now, Lucy, how do you figure that's malpractice? Huh? I had the surgery, experienced one of the complications I was warned about, was treated for the complication, healed, and I'm now happier than ever. And the surgery did exactly what I was told it would do. I don't see the malpractice. I just don't. Like maybe maybe Miss Lucy's a lawyer or something, but I don't think so with that profile picture. I really don't. This one's one of my favorites though. Too much plastic surgery. They don't even look like women to me, but mannequins. Oh my God, thank you. That is so sweet. This tweet says, mutilation by any other name. If your body is trying to heal an open wound and you keep opening it up, well, you're going to have complications. Like this is just not like, this is not accurate. Dilation does not open up the wound. That's like saying that like I have a cut on my arm and I like take a little dilator and just shove it in the cut and just keep that cut open. Ew. It's very revealing when people have to take your segments out of context to like prove their point. Like maybe just ask me if I regret my surgery. I will let you know that I do not. Like I said, this video has been circulating all over Twitter, all over conservative spheres, and Alex Jones of InfoWars, which, I mean, yeah, yep, him, that one. I'm sure you all know, the one that had to pay millions of dollars for like slander or something like that. I don't know what. He got a hold of this video and played it on his InfoWars podcast. Let's take a quick little listen.
The first clip is a group of men who got convinced to hate themselves by psychologists and by the schools and systems to have their genitals cut off, but they don't just.
First, I'm sorry for stopping it already. I just have to address this. He says that these young men, first of all, you, were convinced by psychologists and school teachers. You don't know anything, huh? I went in begging my psychologist to let me transition. My psychologist did not have to convince me of anything and literally told them the first day, I need to transition. I can't keep living like this. Like, this is torture to me, blah, blah, blah. Nobody convinced me. I will also say that when I went in on that first day begging to be put on hormones, begging to be able to transition, they did not let me. They said, no, we need to do a mental evaluation first. We need to make sure that you are mentally sound enough to make this decision. We need to make sure that you're actually trans. Like, it was a medically backed process performed by medical professionals.
They tell them it's going to be great. You won't be depressed anymore. Do this. It's happening as young as 7-year-olds in the U.S., as young as 5 in the UK, as young as 5 in Germany.
No, it's not. No, it is not. That is just not true. He said 5-year-olds are having vaginoplasties. 5. These bitches are straight up lying to you. They are making shit up. Nobody in the history of the world has had a vaginoplasty at the age of 5 years old. Are you kidding me? But people believe it. Like I see it on my timeline all the time of people being like, they're performing mutilating surgeries on infants and babies and children and young people. Like really not. Unless you're talking about circumcision. You're talking about circumcision? Or the surgeries that they do on intersex babies? Is that what you're talking about? Because nobody at age 5 is having a vaginoplasty, I assure you. And now my favorite clip from the InfoWars podcast is this.
And then they staple in what's left of the urethra back in the channel. So there's no muscles to dilate, there's no nerves, it's not natural, and it always becomes infected, it always becomes hellish. For the rest of their lives, they have to wear a big hollow prosthesis.
I mean, one, it's not a big deal. There were no staples used. They didn't staple anything in. No. Second of all, my results were not freakish or hellish. That's like, how dare you, first of all. I personally am very happy with my results. I never experienced any infections after my surgery, anything like that. I don't have to wear a prosthesis like he's saying. Like, I don't know where he's getting this information. It's just not true.
For the rest of their lives, they have to wear a big hollow prosthesis that, quote, keeps the artificial vagina open. A lot of times it gets maggots in it. I'm not joking, folks.
What? No, what? Oh my God, this is off the rails. I've never in my life heard of this. I did some actual research before this video. I did some Googling because that is the most absurd claim I've ever heard. That's not a thing. No, it's not a thing. I have not found anything discussing trans women finding maggots in their bodies after surgery. Oh my God. If they do, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't mean to like, I'm so sorry. But that is not by any means, but in any way, shape, or form near the norm. It's not. It is weird though, because I've seen this in a lot of places. Like people have been tweeting about it, how, you know, it's gonna get like maggots in there. Like, ew, no, it does not. That's funny though, because I did find one person that experienced maggots near their genitalia, and it was a cis man. Dirty. So yeah, thank you so much, Alex Jones, for the little discussion, for literally lying about the entire thing. I mean, if I was a dumb conservative and I believed these things, which I probably would because I'm a dumb conservative and I don't have any critical thought of my own, I would be upset too. I'd be out there freaking telling them to get rid of the little trans kids and put them in jail. Whatever they're saying, I would say it too. They're doing vaginal cleanses on 5-year-olds? They're finding maggots? No. But when you have a brain, you can do some research for your own or even just utilize your common sense and realize that these things are not true. It's not an open wound. Nothing lives in there. It's not hellish. I didn't have any infections and I do not regret it. But yeah, you guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Now, when you see videos online, I feel like I really don't have to tell my audience because my audience is smart. When you see videos online, maybe do a little like research, see where the source is, like see where they're getting their information, especially when it's something like this, because literally nobody in the video, with the exception of maybe that one person, actually regrets their surgery. Yes, it was difficult. Yes, I experienced complications and they experienced complications as well, but that does not change the fact that this was what I needed to do. As always, if you are considering the surgeries, please do your research. I mean, don't fall for these propaganda videos, but also be informed. Listen to trans women stories, even listen to detransitioners stories who have had this surgery and learn about their story, obviously. Learn about why they may not be satisfied with their results, learn about why their complications may have happened, what their pain levels and stuff like that was after surgery. It's all good information to have and can help you make a better informed decision to hopefully avoid some of the complications that we experienced. Of course, with any surgery, there is a possibility for complications. It doesn't say anything bad about the surgeons necessarily. However, when you are going to a better equipped, a better experienced surgeon, you will experience less complications. You know, it's just like how science works or something. Like I said, do your best to find the best surgeon that you can, but know that it's an intense procedure and you're in for a ride. It is a journey, but hopefully someday when you get to the other side of that journey, you will be happier than ever. You'll feel more affirmed than ever. You'll be able to form closer relationships with people. You'll be able to form closer relationships with yourself. The benefits are truly endless. I won't say there's no cons, but for me at least, the benefits and the pros heavily outweigh the cons. But okay, guys, if you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up down below. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already and you would like to be. And don't forget, I have my first Twitch stream this week, this Thursday, June 22nd at 6 p.m. So I will see you there. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone.